Colorado is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Durham, I want to, as a fellow alum of DOJ, I want to thank you for your service, number one. And number two, welcome you to Congress.
It's a real pleasure to be here.
I want to ask you some questions about FISA and some of your most recent experiences as the special counsel and what your specific advice would be, I guess. I am concerned with the conclusions in your report, and I just want to, they've been mentioned several times here, but in your opening statement, you talk about lack of investigative discipline, a failure to take logical investigative steps, and bias. It appears to me that the lack of investigative discipline and the failure to take logical investigative steps are a result of bias. Is that fair?
I think that's fair. When you look at what is involved here, this is a presidential campaign. It's not a run-of-the-mill investigation. This is so highly sensitive. It could affect the outcome of a presidential election and the future of the nation. You would expect that the discipline that would have been followed would have been higher than ever. And that didn't happen here. The sort of analytical rigor, the discipline in how we investigate criminal matters, that was just absent here in large measure.
Fair to say that there was a rush to judgment?
I'm sorry?
Fair to say that there was a rush to judgment? In other words, the judgment of proceeding with the investigation before following proper procedure?
As been alluded to here, the information that they had received from the Australian diplomats, not Australian intelligence or law enforcement, about Australian diplomats about something that was said at a bar. Within 3 days of that information having been received at FBI headquarters, the deputy director of the FBI, according to Mr. Strzok, told him to immediately open that, and it was opened as a full investigation on a weekend with Mr. Strzok, not only writing the opening electronic communication, the opening memo, but approving that memo as well.
And this is the same Mr. Strzok who we saw the text message from that had a clear bias regarding President Trump.
It's the same person, yes.
And how long did Director Comey serve in the FBI before he became director? And I'm not saying Department of Justice, I'm saying FBI.
Right. To my knowledge, he was not in the FBI prior to becoming director.
And he promoted the people, Andy McCabe, Peter Strzok, others, to the position in headquarters and then dealt with them there. Is that fair?
He would have certainly had a role in the advancement of people in the upper management of the FBI, yes.
My concern is that the bias that has been demonstrated there, whether it has been eradicated or dealt with, could exist in any of these agencies. And these agencies have access to very sensitive information that we in Congress allow for counterterrorism, counterintelligence activities, and it really goes around the Constitution because it does not deal with U.S. citizens. And I'm talking about the FISA rules now. Have you heard of backdoor searches?
I've heard the term, yes, sir.
And it refers to the ability of an agency to look at a U.S. citizen's communications because the communication was with a foreign individual and it was recorded because that foreign individual was being looked at. Is that fair?
That's fair.
And if there was this bias in an agency like the FBI that we saw previously, and they wanted to go after a U.S. citizen, they could use that technique to go after that citizen. And my question to you is, how do we prevent that? How do we in Congress take a look at FISA, try to maintain the national security interests, but at the same time protect U.S. citizens from a rogue agency, a biased agency or agent, I shouldn't say agency and condemn everyone, but individuals in the agency? How do we protect American citizens from what could occur? And let me give you another quick example. Going out and buying information from private data sellers to obtain information that you couldn't obtain with a search warrant because you don't have probable cause. Those techniques are all available under FISA. What should we do?
You know, that's clearly beyond my, my background and experience. These are very complicated questions, particularly when we know the adversaries are doing the same thing. And, you know, what do we do under those circumstances? I think you've got a very tough job in figuring out how do you balance the liberties of the American people, and protect the liberties of American people, while at the same time protecting the country and the nation and the people of the United States. I don't feel qualified, really, to provide you with any helpful information along those lines, but I know that it is a serious issue. It's a serious concern.
I thank you, and I